Now eating at McDonald's gets you the biggest break ever.
I won! Yes!
It's the Monopoly game, only at McDonald's. With over 50 million prizes, it's supersized excitement.
I won a Dodge Viper!
Shopping sprees, cruises.
Sega Game Gear with Sonic Triple Trouble.
Get a game piece on these favorites like a medium soft drink. Win big instantly, or collect a Monopoly and win. So go directly to McDonald's and eat, play, win.
$1 million!
Have you had your break today?
Winning $1 million? Your odds were 1 in 250 million. A brand new car? Between 1 in 15 to 45 million. A dream vacation? Just 1 in 6 million. These were the odds of winning a major prize in the McDonald's Monopoly game between 1989 and 2001. For over a decade, McDonald's ran one of the most successful promotions in history. People would flock in droves to McDonald's, buying extra meals to collect game pieces, dreaming of winning vacations, cars, and million-dollar jackpots. Like millions of others, I remember peeling those little game pieces off my McDonald's cup, hoping, just hoping, that I had the missing Park Place. And every time, nothing. But hey, there was always next time, right? What if I told you the truth is, we never really had a chance? What if I told you that one guy found a way to game the system and decided to go into business for himself? This is the story of a man named Uncle Jerry, who, with a network of criminals, was able to steal more than $24 million in prize money, and how one phone call to the FBI unraveled the whole operation. By the end of the investigation, FBI agents will uncover that behind the scenes was a vast network of psychics, strip club owners, mafiosos, and even Mormons. One mastermind sat at the top of it all, pulling in most of the profits and hand-selecting who would be the winners. How did he do it? Before we get started, I would like to give a shout-out to Ubel Brahma Alex. You're doing great things for this channel, and we enjoy having you here. Now let's get to the video. In 1987, McDonald's introduced the Monopoly game, hoping to boost sales with a simple but brilliant marketing strategy. Select menu items came with game pieces, and customers could collect a full set to win prizes like cash, cars, and dream vacations. There was also the chance to win instant prizes, such as free fries, drinks, or small cash amounts. But let's be honest, no one was playing for free food. The real excitement was in chasing the life-changing prizes. And it worked. The game became one of the most successful fast food promotions ever, drawing in millions of eager players every year. There were 2 ways to win in the McDonald's Monopoly game. The first was through instant win prizes, which included free food, drinks, and small cash amounts. The second, and the one everyone was really chasing, was the collect-to-win method. To win big, you needed to collect full sets of Monopoly properties, just like in the board game. For example, getting both Boardwalk and Park Place meant winning $1 million. Simple, right? Except there was a catch, and McDonald's knew exactly what they were doing. They printed thousands of Park Place pieces, ensuring that almost everyone would get one. But Boardwalk? That was different. Finding a Boardwalk piece was like discovering a golden ticket in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, nearly impossible. Despite the long odds, people kept buying, collecting, and hoping. But why? Because the game wasn't just a promotion. It was a psychological trap designed to keep customers hooked, spending money, and chasing an almost impossible dream. One of the key tactics used was the near-miss effect, a psychological trick that keeps people playing even when the odds never change. Think about slot machines. You spin the reels, get 2 matching symbols, and just barely miss the jackpot by 1. Your brain treats that near win as motivation to keep playing, even though the odds haven't actually improved. McDonald's designed their game the same way. Players would collect Park Place and think, "I'm so close, Zrenia," but in reality, they were never close at all because Boardwalk was nearly impossible to find. This tricked customers into spending more money, convinced that their big win was just 1 meal away. Another psychological trick at play was the illusion of control. Unlike traditional lotteries, which rely on pure luck, McDonald's Monopoly felt like a game of strategy. People believed they could increase their chances of winning by collecting more pieces, trading with friends, or even visiting multiple McDonald's locations. But the truth, there was no strategy, only luck. and the game was rigged from the start. Once players started collecting, it became hard to stop, even when they knew the odds were against them. This was due to the sunk cost fallacy, where people feel committed to something simply because they've already invested time, money, or effort into it. If you had 3 out of 4 railroads, stopping now would mean all that effort was wasted. So, players kept spending money, collecting pieces, and hoping for that final missing piece, even though it was never coming. McDonald's also masterfully used social proof to make the game feel winnable. They heavily advertised their big winners, showing smiling families holding oversized checks and reinforcing the idea that anyone could win. When millions of people around you are playing and talking about collecting game pieces, it's easy to feel like you're missing out if you don't participate. But the truth? These big winners weren't everyday customers at all. While millions of customers chased an impossible dream, behind the scenes, one man was secretly picking the real winners, and they weren't everyday customers. They were part of a secret network of fraud, deception, and crime. For years, McDonald's customers thought they had a fair shot at winning millions. But in reality, the prizes were being stolen before they ever reached the stores. Why would Uncle Jerry risk it all? Was it greed, power, or just the thrill of getting away with it? Meet Jerome Jacobson, better known as Uncle Jerry. As a kid, he dreamed of becoming an FBI agent. He even became a police officer in Florida, thinking he was on the right path. But fate had other plans. After developing health problems, he had to hang his boots up early. Looking for a new career, he came across a job at Simon Marking as a security officer. This is the company that would be over the McDonald's Monopoly game. It didn't take long for Jerome to rise through the ranks and eventually become head of security. Once Simon Marketing landed the contract for the Monopoly game, Jerome had one job: ensuring the security of the entire promotion. Uncle Jerry was obsessed with security. He was the guy who made sure no one cheated the system. He followed employees to the bathroom. He checked their shoes for stolen game pieces. He wrote up workers for the smallest mistakes. No one was getting past him. But maybe that was the problem, because eventually he realized something. No one was watching him. Once the winning pieces were ready, Jerry would personally deliver them to McDonald's packaging factories across the country. So it is ironic that the man who was so obsessed with making sure nobody was stealing game pieces became the one who was stealing game pieces. It all started with one mistake. In 1989, Uncle Jerry accidentally took home a winning ticket. He didn't mean to steal it. At least that's what he told himself. But as he stared at the small slip of paper in his hands, something clicked. No one's watching me. That thought changed everything. Because if he could take one, why not take more? That single stolen ticket was just the beginning. Because once Uncle Jerry realized he could rig the system, he never stopped. Uncle Jerry would do a test run. He gave a piece to his stepbrother to help him out. The piece was worth $25,000, a small prize compared to the larger one. Once he realized nobody noticed, he grew more confident that he could get away with it. One day, while shopping for some groceries, Jerry started to brag about how he was able to handpick winners of the Monopoly game. The butcher, half joking, said, "Man, I'd love to win something like that." Jacobson thought about it for a moment, and then agreed. But he had one condition. You can't be the winner yourself. You need to give the ticket to someone else. That way, it won't trace back to me. The butcher nodded, smiled, and took the ticket. A few weeks later, Jerry was watching TV when a familiar face appeared on a McDonald's Monopoly commercial. His butcher, smiling, holding a giant check. He didn't give the ticket away. He claimed the prize himself. Jerry's heart dropped. He grabbed the phone and dialed. "What the hell are you doing? We know each other. If they connect us, we're screwed." After that close encounter, Jerry knew from now on he had to pick people at random. That way it would be hard to trace anything back to him. How did the scam work? How was Jerry able to pull something like this off? After printing, the pieces would be placed into an envelope and sealed. Jerry was personally responsible for transporting the high-value game pieces to the packing facility. One day, sitting at home, Jerry got an unexpected package. When he opened it, he couldn't believe it. Inside was a blank set of anti-tamper seals from Hong Kong. This gave Jerry the opportunity he needed to take the scam to new heights. Now Jerry could open the already sealed envelopes, replace the winning pieces with random pieces, and reseal the envelope without anyone knowing. Now Jerry has a new problem. Simon Marking hires an independent auditor to make sure everything is going okay. This auditor's job is to watch Jerry like a hawk and follow him everywhere he goes. And she is good at her job. But Jerry had one trick up his sleeve. While flying on the plane, Jerry would make his way to the restroom, the one place she can't follow. Once in the restroom, Jerry makes his move. He quickly opens the envelope, takes out the winning piece, replaces it with a different piece, and resealed the envelope with the new sticker he got from Hong Kong. It's about this time that Jerry starts seeing psychics, mediums, and fortune tellers to reassure him. With control of the pieces, it's time for Jerry to get to work. Jerry knows he can't cash the tickets himself, so he is going to need outside help. This is when Jerry starts recruiting people. But Jerry didn't just give the pieces away, he sold them for a cut of the prize money. He would sell a $10,000 prize for $2,000. The higher the prize, the higher the cost. Up to $100,000 up front for a $1 million piece. As the scam grew, Jerry needed more winners, people who could cash in big prizes without attracting attention. This is when he starts recruiting his network of criminals. Sitting at an airport, Uncle Jerry met another Jerry, Jerry Colombo. They hit it off right away. But Colombo wasn't just some random guy. He casually mentioned something that changed everything. I'm with the Colombo crime family. Uncle Jerry knew what that meant. Connections, influence, a way to make his scam even bigger. And Colombo had an offer. I can get you winners, clean ones, but I get a cut. Uncle Jerry didn't hesitate. To seal the deal, he handed Colombo the winning game piece for a Dodge Viper. And just like that, the mafia was in the McDonald's Monopoly game. Soon, Uncle Jerry was handing out million-dollar prizes like candy. But the more he made, the sloppier he got. For years, Jerry played it smart. He would spread out winners across different states so no pattern would emerge. He never used the same kind of people too often, mixing men, women, different ages and backgrounds. He also coached his winners on how to act. Things are going well until they weren't. Jerry Colombo's marriage isn't going quite so well. His wife Robin starts to feel like she doesn't want to be a mafia wife. One day, while driving with her husband, a massive Ford truck smashes into them and their car is crushed into a concrete wall. Jerry Colombo is taken to the hospital, where he dies a few days after the crash. Now alone, Jerry has to look for another recruiter. But what Uncle Jerry doesn't know is that the FBI is hot on his tail. Nobody really knows who called the FBI, but whoever it was, they gave the FBI all the information they needed. But during this time, Uncle Jerry finds two new recruiters to replace Jerry Colombo. One was a man by the name of Andrew Glom, better known as AJ. AJ was a drug trafficker who sold most of his game pieces to his drug dealing buddies. The second person was Dwight Baker, a Mormon and a beloved member of his church. With tens of thousands of dollars in back taxes, Baker was feeling the pressure of the IRS and decided to take a piece of the pie. Unlike Colombo, these recruits didn't pick their winners at random. It all started in 2000 with a single phone call to the FBI's Jacksonville office. An anonymous tipster claimed that McDonald's Monopoly was rigged, that the winners were not real customers, but hand-picked frauds. More importantly, he gave the FBI a name, Jerome Jacobson, Uncle Jerry himself. At first, the FBI almost ignored the tip. Special Agent Richard Dent, who took the call, didn't think much of it. The Jacksonville office was focused on drug busts, violent crimes, and major financial fraud. So a fast food game scam wasn't exactly a top priority. He even wrote the tip down on a sticky note and nearly dismissed it. But one small detail made him think twice. The caller mentioned that Jacobson was connected to a man named Jerry Colombo, and Colombo was tied to the Colombo crime family, one of the most notorious mafia organizations in the country. That changed everything. If the mafia was involved, this was more than just a corporate fraud case. It could be part of something much bigger. That was enough for the FBI to launch a deeper investigation. The FBI called their operation Final Answer, a nod to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, one of the biggest game shows at the time. Their goal was simple: find out who was behind the scam, track the money, and catch them in the act. The first step was to investigate the winners. When the FBI started looking into past grand prize recipients, they quickly noticed something suspicious. Almost every winner was connected to Uncle Jerry, Jerry Colombo, or one of their associates. The FBI monitored bank accounts, tapped phones, and followed suspected fraudsters. And it didn't take long before they found proof that something was seriously wrong. To get more evidence, the FBI went undercover. They devised a plan to pose as a fake film crew, making a documentary about McDonald's Monopoly winners. They contacted suspected fraudsters and invited them to be interviewed on camera for a McDonald's promotional video. But in reality, these interviews were secret FBI stings. One by one, the fake winners sat in front of the cameras. The agents asked them seemingly innocent questions, but in reality, they were leading them into revealing the truth. Some got nervous, some slipped up and admitted details they weren't supposed to. Others directly incriminated Uncle Jerry, explaining that they had purchased their winning tickets rather than actually finding them. By August 2001, the FBI had all the evidence they needed to bring the operation down. On August 22, 2001, they launched a nationwide takedown, arresting more than 50 people, including Uncle Jerry, his middlemen, fake winners, and even former McDonald's employees. Among them was Robin Colombo, Jerry Colombo's widow, who had continued the scam after her husband's suspicious car crash in 1998. When faced with overwhelming evidence, Uncle Jerry confessed. He admitted that the scam had lasted over a decade and had stolen over $24 million in prizes that should have gone to real McDonald's customers. When the case went to court, Jerome Jacobson pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit mail fraud. For running one of the biggest corporate scams in history, he was sentenced to 37 months in prison, just over 3 years, and ordered to pay back $12.5 million in restitution. Other key players in the scam were also convicted. Robin Colombo was sentenced to 18 months in prison, while several fake winners were forced to pay back their winnings and serve probation or short jail sentences. Many people believed Uncle Jerry got off easy, considering the scale of the fraud, but the case was officially closed. Meanwhile, McDonald's was left scrambling to contain the PR disaster. At first, the company denied responsibility, claiming they had no idea the game was rigged. But when the FBI released its findings, McDonald's had no choice but to take action. To win back public trust, they launched a $25 million instant giveaway, giving out prizes directly to random customers. They also cut ties with Simon Marketing, the company responsible for running the Monopoly promotion, and put new security measures in place to prevent future fraud. Despite the scandal, McDonald's Monopoly eventually returned, and this time, it was much harder to rig. After serving his sentence, Uncle Jerry disappeared from public view, living in obscurity. He never spoke publicly about the scam, but his legacy remains. To this day, the McDonald's Monopoly scandal is one of the biggest corporate fraud cases in history. Millions of people played, millions hoped, but in the end, the winners had already been chosen. So the final question remains: if that anonymous tip never came in, would Uncle Jerry have ever been caught? For over a decade, millions of McDonald's customers believed they had a fair shot at winning. They peeled game pieces off their cups, saved extras in their wallets, and held on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, they'd find the missing piece to win big. But as we now know, the game was never fair. The McDonald's Monopoly scam wasn't just about the $24 million stolen. It was about how one man manipulated an entire system for years without anyone noticing. Even the FBI nearly ignored the tip that led to his downfall. It makes you wonder, if no one had ever spoken up, how much longer could Uncle Jerry have kept the scam going? But here's the thing, McDonald's still runs its Monopoly promotion today. They claim it's more secure, with new measures in place to prevent fraud. But after learning the truth about how easily the system was exploited, it raises a bigger question. Do people still trust the game as much as they once did? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that as long as there's a game to be played, someone will always try to cheat it. What do you think? Do you still trust McDonald's Monopoly? Or does Uncle Jerry's story make you second guess it? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime stories like this one.